Let us proceed further with our first guest speaker, Dr. Alka Dhoke. Dr. Alka ma'am is an MD in gynecology. She has worked as a senior lecturer in Government Medical College, Nagpur for over 10 years. She was owner and director of Kamal Memorial Maternity Home for over 7 years. She was also an associate professor in MNR Medical College, Hyderabad. She was also a specialist at GB Pant Hospital, Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar. She is currently doing private practice in Worli, Mumbai. She has also been active in social and religious work for the past 20 years. She is very supportive of atrocity cases. Presently, she is deeply involved in Payal Tadvi's case. So, on behalf of Mahaprajapati Upasika Sangh, it's my great honor to welcome you, ma'am. You are an inspiration for all of us, and I would like to request you to share your views on women liberation movement and Buddhism in India.
Thank you very much, Trupti, Rucha, and consultant and guide of our Mahaprajapati Upasika Sangh, Mr. Mangesh Dahiwale. First of all, I pay my homage to a Sakya, blessed with high lineage, noble parentage, possessed of considerable riches, in the bloom of youthful vigor, accomplished in mind and body, who fought his king's mane for the sake of maintaining peace on earth and goodwill towards me, the Tathagat Gautam Buddha. And the greatest Buddhist scholar, philosopher, and follower responsible for revival of Buddhism in India, the greatest Indian Bodhisattva, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Vandami, Reverend Aya, Santusika, all members of Mahaprajapati Upasika Sangh, and my dear brothers and sisters. In 21st century, women of India have taken a great stride in path of progress, be it educational field, economic, social, cultural, or political. They excelled in each and every field. But hold it, this is the picture projected in front of the world. Actual picture is not true. It is quite different, because only few % of women of society are enjoying rights and privileges, quality education, occupation, depending on the accident of birth. And majority of women of Bahujan Samaj are victim of a special, unique, never seen or imagined by world, a system called Chaturvarna system, created by self-styled supermen called Brahmins. So, before going in depth of the subject, I will highlight Chaturvarna system in brief. The pattern of invisible Chaturvarna system, they named it ideal society, was based upon certain rules. Society should be divided into 4 classes: Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Brahmins to be at the top and Shudras to be lowest of all. Second rule was that there cannot be social equality among these 4 classes. They must be bound together by rule of graded inequality, which govern the question of rights and privileges. Brahmins had all rights and privileges, and Shudras, they were not entitled to any right and privileges. His privilege was to subsist without offending the 3 superior classes. Regarding occupation, the occupation of Brahmin was learning and teaching, and performances of religious observances. Kshatriya's occupation was fighting, Vaishyas trade, and Shudras service of 3 superior classes. The occupation assigned were exclusive. One class could not trace upon the occupation of the other. The 4th rule was right to education. The right to education was given to first 3 classes. The right to education was not denied only to Shudras, but also to all women, including those belonging to the class of Brahmins, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas. Also, For Shudras and women belonging to all classes, the door of religious knowledge was not open. Such was the divine pattern of ideal society called Chaturvarna system. Further, Brahmins idealized the rules, and to make it unremovable, permanent in the mind of people, they embedded it in Vedas. Vedas collection of mantras, chants, prayers for help against enemies, for gift of wealth, for accepting the offerings of food, flesh, and wine from devotee. Buddha discarded the mantras as he saw that was morally, he saw nothing that was morally elevating. In his view, Vedas were as worthless as desert. But cunning Brahmins made it sacred, infallible, and not to be questioned. Salvation of soul can be had only by the due performance of Vedic sacrifices and observation of religious rites and ceremonies and the offering of gifts to Brahmins. As Chaturvarna system was embedded in Vedas, so it was sacred and infallible. In the midst of the darkness of ignorance, there came the light from enlightened one, the Buddha. With his principles of liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice, and Prajna, Shil, Maitri, Karuna. His religion was discovery. It is the result of inquiry and investigation into the condition of human life on earth and understanding of the working of human instinct with which the man is born. With 6 years of austerities and mortification of severe sort and 4 weeks of meditation, he discovered the truth. He discovered the truth that there is suffering and unhappiness in the world. He found out that the cause of suffering is greed, hatred, and ignorance. And path to remove suffering is Arya Ashtangik Marga. The Buddhism was social and religious revolution of Buddha. Buddha was upholder of gender equality and liberty. He had great faith on women's ability. He believed that women are as much as capable as men in the matter of reaching Nibbana. Likewise, women of his times had great faith on Buddha and his Dhamma, and faith he expressed on capabilities of women in reaching Nibbana. The Mahaprajapati was first woman in history of India to take initiative in asking the permission to Buddha to enter the Sangha. She asked so to the Buddha when he visited Kapilvastu, but Buddha denied the permission merely on practical grounds. Then Mahaprajapati Gautami, leader of 500 women including Yashodhara, of non-monarchical state of Sakya, sat together to give further consideration to their request for admission to the Sangha and the refusal of Lord to grant such a request. They decided to cut off their hair and put on orange colored robes to become parivrajakas and then ask permission to Buddha. At that time, Buddha was staying in Vaishali. Mahaprajapati Gautami with her companions walked all the way from Kapilvastu to Vaishali on barefoot. Buddha again denied. Finally, after Bhante Ananda's intervention, Buddha agreed to grant permission, subject to 8 conditions which were on practical grounds. Mahaprajapati took responsibility for the enforcement of the 8 chief rules, which were regarded as having received the Upasampada initiation, that means entry into the Sangha. Thus, Mahaprajapati received ordination and also 500 Shakya women were also ordained same time. Blessed One taught Dhamma to Mahaprajapati and the doctrine and discipline, and 500 women bhikkhunis were instructed by Nandaka, one of the disciples of the Blessed One. Yashodhara after her ordination came to be known as Bhadda Kachayana. The purpose of giving detail of these incidents is to express feeling of women all over the world for exemplary work Mahaprajapati had done for us. I see merits of Mahaprajapati and 500 women to reach Nibbana. What a noble goal! What a sacrifice, strong determination to leave worldly pleasures, to become homeless and enter the homeless state, and the doctrine and discipline proclaimed by Buddha. What faith on Buddha and his Dhamma, what unity amongst the women, and what a great leadership of Mahaprajapati Gautami. What a glorious thing it would have been to become a mother of Samyak Sambuddha. Speaking about Yashodhara, she was already on spiritual path of Buddha. She was practicing Nekkhamma and Upekka before becoming Bhikkhuni. When Siddhartha Gautama took Parivraja, she heard that he had shaved his head. She did likewise. When she heard that he had left off the use of perfumes and ornaments, she also refused their use. Likewise, her husband. She used to eat at appointed times from an earthen bowl. At that time, she was staying in a palace, and Siddhartha Gautama was in forest. Still, I see the sacrifice and the Yashodhara had done right from the Bhikkhuni, and that means we should learn how to practice Nekkhamma and Upekha. At least we can reduce our greed in our life. And looking at after understanding the great benefit of Dhamma to mankind, she gave permission to 7-year-old son Rahul to get admitted in Sangha. Buddha praised Yashodhara of her great merits and great courage. When he took Parivraja, her beauty, her gentleness, her devotion had been invaluable to him as a bodhisattva. When he aspired to be the highest aim of mankind to attain enlightenment. In her last meeting with Buddha, she did not ask permission to die, nor did she go to him to seek him as a refuge. On the contrary, she said to him, "Me sarnamathano, I am my own refuge." She came to thank him because it was he who had shown her the way and given her the power. She had conquered all cankers in her life. In Upadan section of Khudak Nikaya, Yashodhara was conferred upon the title of Arhat. In Buddha's time, there was Vishakha. She was a wealthy woman of Shravasti and was known for her generosity. Through all her life, she donated robes for the rainy season to the bhikkhus of Sangha, also food, medicine for sick bhikkhus of Sangha, and constant supply of rice milk for the Sangha, and bathing robes for bhikkhunis. She did it for peace, feeling of content, and exercise of her moral power. She had abiding faith on Buddha and his Dhamma, but her father-in-law, Migara, was follower of Niganthas. To make him follower of Dhamma, Buddha and his Dhamma, Vishakha arranged sermon of Buddha. After listening the sermon, Migara became a convert. I think we Upasikas should learn the Dan Padmita from the Vishakha Upasika. After rise of Buddhism, these were the women of Buddha's time. Now I will move forward. After rise of Buddhism, Ashoka the Great promoted Buddhism across ancient Asia. He ruled from 268 BC to 232 BC. Moreover, to spread Buddhism out of India, he sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka. It was because of great efforts of King Ashoka, his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra, and also Chinese Buddhist monk Buddhism still continues to be dominant religion of Asia, China, Burma, and Indochina. Then in 185 BC to 149 BC, after counter-revolution by general of army Pushpamitra Sungha, who killed King Brihadratha, there was downfall of Buddhism. In counter-revolution period, there was downfall in status of women due to severe restriction imposed on them by Manu, the greatest opponent of Buddhist religion. It was in this period the two classes, Shudras and women, whose humanity was mutilated by Brahmanism, had no power to rebel against system. They were denied the right to education, with the result that by reason of their enforced ignorance, they could not realize what had made their condition so degraded. They could not know that Brahmanism had robbed them completely of the significance of their life. Instead of rebelling against Brahmanism, they had become the devotee and upholders of Brahmanism. Hence, in this period of counter-revolution, we don't see any women liberation movement. In 19th century, there was major contribution by Savitribai Phule. She was India's first female teacher. She was educationalist, poet, social reformer. She worked to abolish discrimination and unfair treatment of people based on caste and gender. With her husband Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, she opened many schools in Pune. She is regarded as an important figure of the social reform movement in Maharashtra. In 20th century, Ramabai Ambedkar, wife of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, was instrumental in helping him pursue his higher education and his true potential. She was symbol of humility, resilience, and compassion. She was greatest inspiration for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Her steadfast nature helped her overcome those difficulties. She held her head high amidst the social injustices and atrocities that occurred, and was a source of support and motivation to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar while fighting along with him to uplift the oppressed. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the revolutionary of 20th century, has played a vital role in securing basic human rights for women in general and women of minority community. His first demand of adult franchise, which was met in the early 20s after resistance from the Brahmins, gave voting rights to untouchables and to women. That was the beginning of an era of liberation for women. Women of India are unaware of this fact. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was a great believer in women's organization. He said that if women are convinced, they can do a lot to improve the condition of society. In the eradication of social evils, they have rendered great service. Hence, Babasaheb's words, I measure the progress of society by the degree of progress which women have achieved. That is why in each and every protest of Babasaheb, be it a Mahar Satyagraha, Kalaram Mandir Satyagraha protest, women attended in large numbers. Through the Constitution of India, as the chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, Dr. Ambedkar was instrumental in granting equal status to all the citizens, irrespective of sex, caste, and creed. Thus, women first time got equal status lawfully. The pioneering work of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was Hindu Code Bill. He prepared this bill to empower women by way of giving property rights and giving rights in many other matters like marriage, adoption, divorce, etc. However, Orthodox Hindus with mindset of Manusmriti did not allow this bill to be passed in parliament and as it is, and Babasaheb Ambedkar had to resign. In India, main reason for social suffering of women is caste system and Hindu Shastras still control the mindset of the people. Like Buddha, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar wanted ideal society based on liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. He had incorporated these principles in Constitution of India, and he proudly stated that he has not taken them from French Revolution, he has taken from Buddhism. Revival of Buddhism in India is because of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who along with 5 lakh followers embraced Buddhism on 14th October 1956 at Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. The Dhamma Diksha Vidhi was attended by a large number of women, mainly from Maharashtra. Thereafter, anniversary celebration is attended by women with their children from all corners of India. I have experienced that movement of spread of Buddhism is carried forward by these women who are little bit illiterate and economically poor. They go to nearby viharas regularly, take Vandana and celebrate Buddha Jayanti, Baba Sahib Jayanti. But sad part is that there are no bhikkhus or bhikkhunis in viharas to teach them Dhamma. Neither educated Buddhist upasak or upasikas are there. Although educated and occupying higher posts, they are yet to come out from Hindu sanskar. That is why Baba Sahib prescribed 22 oaths at time of Dhamma Diksha Vidhi. Also, second reason is that because of social inequality and there is no liberty, Buddhist people have to invest their time in solving lot of social issues created by caste and caste discrimination. But we must practice Dhamma, spread the Dhamma envisioned by Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Because, and for this, I recommend to our Buddhist people to read Buddha and his Dhamma texts to gain the knowledge of Buddhism. Because Baba Sahib studied Buddhism not more than 21 years and he had written this book in depth to give a scientific knowledge of Buddhism. Baba Sahib says that men are mortals, so are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as plants need watering. Otherwise, both will wither and die. He further states that duty of Buddhist is not only to be a good Buddhist, but his duty is to spread Buddhism, and to spread Buddhism is to serve humanity. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you, Dr. Alka ma'am, for your insightful speech. It is indeed wonderful to know the contribution of women in Buddhist history. The story of Mahaprajapati Gautami is relevant even in today's day and age. You shared stories of women who not only supported their partners, but built their own identity. We can definitely take a lot of inspiration from it. And lastly, because of the contribution of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, women in India are able to exercise basic rights. He has provided us with a voice and platform to further the women liberation movement. On behalf of Mahaprajapati Sangh, I am thankful to you for sharing this valuable information. It's our honor to have you with us on this special occasion and really appreciate your contribution to this event. Thank you once again.